frustration comes from the most unbelievable sources. Each one stands alone as if it were defendable on its own. But they come from the most silly things. We might be sitting in traffic, frustrated that the car in front won't move. We feel tension rising in our muscles, in our bones, in our eyes. We start talking to people on the phone or next to us in the car with agitation, as if that's going to change much in front of us. But we do get agitated. And that agitation leads to a fuming, red-hot headspace. A headspace we don't want. And that headspace leads to frustration's next best friend, which is anger. And so it's really important to recognize that not only your own frustration, but the frustration of other people is going to impact your life. And I think the most important thing at this point in time is to recognize what it looks like. To recognize the symptoms of frustration. Now this one that you're watching now, the anger of someone screaming at someone else over the phone, that's easy to detect it. When a couple walk away from each other without any romantic connection, or somebody is completely forlorn as to how they're going to win or what they're going to do to make things better. We know ultimately that frustration comes from not getting what we want. Many people have more subtle reactions, such as migraines and headaches from their frustrations, but it doesn't make them any less just because they don't voice them in a screaming match. Some people get very depressed and sad. Others, well, it's a secret because the thing they're frustrated about is something they can't do anything about and seems to be getting worse. But the symptoms of frustration can lead to all sorts of emotional and mental problems that we all need to be aware of in ourselves and in others. We need to be able to detect what a frustration looks like and have an early warning system for ourselves and others, because ultimately the feeling of frustration is like falling through quicksand. We know when a child is frustrated, the solution is always the same. When a child is frustrated, the solution is a hug and a kiss from mum. Otherwise, there's going to be an error in the brain, which is going to cause all sorts of side effects. The first thing to do if you're frustrated is lie down on the floor and do a body check and find out whereabouts in your body you're feeling this frustration. Is it your purpose in the throat? Is it your inspiration in the top of your head? Or is it your got to fire, your fire in the belly? Is it your emotions or your heart? Where are you feeling? Which chakra, which level of the body, which of the 7 levels of the body are you feeling it at? And try and relax that. But at the end of the day, if you're still feeling like you're falling through quicksand with frustration, the next and most important step is to try to move your thoughts from got to up to love to. The way you do that is by balancing your opinions, balancing your mind, to see another side to the coin, to recognize that there are 2 sides to the situation you're in, not just all the doom and gloom or the side that's frustrating the hell out of you at the present time, to look for the balance in this situation. But at the end of the day, if that balance is not conspicuous and you still feel like you're falling through quicksand, the next and most important thing is to reach out to the concept of abundance. Look for the 7 areas of life and see where you are getting what you want in another area of life. See where in some area of life you've become frustrated and you're taking it out on another area of life. Look for the holistic approach, total human awareness, where you're a total human being and nothing can be missing. It might be just in a different form. and try to get back to that state of, well, let's call it gratitude for life, where, yes, there may be some things that are annoying you, but there are many things to be thankful for, and that can alleviate your frustration. But if that still feels you leaving like you're standing or lying in quicksand, the intervention needs to be a little stronger, and that's where we go to your belief system. We take the discard form side A and side B, and we start processing your beliefs to see where what you believe and what's going on in the world are in contradiction. Now, this is where many people get really stuck. They rather hold on to their belief system and be frustrated than recognize that their expectation and beliefs is actually frustrating them, and that those expectations and beliefs are not their true identity, they're just their thoughts. We are not what we think, we are how we think. And this process helps you move through frustration rapidly. But at the end of that process, if you're still feeling like you're slipping through quicksand, and you've done the discard form on whatever it is that's frustrating you, you have no choice but to ask yourself, where am I not living my purpose? We sabotage anything we can't link to our purpose, and the frustration is the form of sabotage that human beings use to actually make something that they're frustrated with go away. It's a form of aggression or passive aggression that tries to cause the situation we're in to go away. But if we're not on purpose, if we're not living our purpose, if we're not true to our purpose, we'll sabotage anything that doesn't link to our purpose. But if at the end of that process, you still feel like you're slipping through quicksand and sliding away into the dark, the next question is about your identity, your ego. How this great big bundle of baggage that you put on your shoulders to associate your ego with the opinion or the thoughts or the collection of wealth from others, what you've identified with, where that's holding you back. And this, of course, leads to the concept of rearranging your self-talk to realize that you are a magnificent and an amazing human being, even though some things around you won't go exactly as you want. This self-talk is a way of moving through a very, very heavy load of baggage that you might be carrying. But at the end of all that, if you still feel frustration and the error system is running around in your brain, there is only one choice. Run. Because with that, all that done, the Grim Reaper is after you. And the result of that can never be good. The result of that, Grim Reaper chasing you, will be medication. And the result of that will never be good. This is Chris. You have a beautiful day. And please, take good care of frustration, because you cannot be frustrated and happy at the same time. You cannot be frustrated and think clearly at the same time. You cannot be a loving, wonderful human being that you're born to be, successful, strong and happy, surrounded by beautiful people who want to be there, if you don't think inspired. And frustration and inspiration, they're in a very deep argument.